road. So a little bit of history to start with, a little bit of history in the cellar where the studio is. And it's Women's History Month that we are celebrating here with the Iceni Race Series. And the registrations for this event, as we mentioned last week, are also to be celebrated. Around 400 women on the start sheets tonight, 300 here, racing very, very shortly, and a further 100 in the Americas in around 5 hours' time. Now, this race series is brought to you by the Warrior Games in conjunction with the Ionian race team. It's also supported by Stolen Goat, ZMS Studios, who are doing the production, and the commentary brought to you by Full Speed Events. Well, it's an individual competition based on points, and tonight is Challenge 2 out of the 4 challenges across the Iceni Race Series. Now, last week we were on Sugar Cookie, and we'll go through the results from last week very, very shortly. But tonight, Challenge 2, well, 3 mini races for you tonight. TikTok, the Bell Lap, and the Cobbled Climb, and we'll go through those a little bit more in a minute. Next week, Challenge 3, it's all about the climbing. We're off to Yorkshire. Now, that's not very far up the road from me, and I know one of our racers tonight, well, we're going to hear from Holly later. She's definitely a Yorkshire fan. Challenge 4, we're heading to France, Caspats. That's going to be the last Tuesday in March. That's going to be the last one of the Iceni Race Series. But we're Challenge number 2 tonight. Let's take a little bit look in more detail of what is facing our riders this evening. Well, race number 1 kicks off at 6 o'clock for the A's, 1 minute past 6 for the B's, 2 minutes past, and then 3 minutes past for the C and D's. You get the gist. On TikTok now, it is a short race tonight. They come out of the start pens, they go under the rock arch, and then around 200 metres after the rock arch is where the effort will finish. So very, very short effort. No draft tonight on race 1. I'm expecting to see a lot of riders on time trial bikes because it's the time against the clock that's going to count. No intermediates on race 1, but we do have intermediates on race 2. 4 laps of the Bell Lap tonight with an intermediate effort each lap. So a lot of points to be picked up tonight in race number 2. In fact, that is the race where most points this evening can be gained. Now, race number 3, we're heading to Richmond for the Cobbled Climb route. It's the technical part of Richmond, shall we say, rather than the fan flats. 9.2 kilometres, 3 climbs tonight. 2 of which are going to have intermediate points, and then the finish line, which of course comes just after that 3rd climb. So that is what is facing our riders this evening. Shall we take a little look at where our riders finished last week? So, Challenge 1, we talked about Challenge 1 being on that Sugar Cookie course. There were lots of sprints, 4 sprints to be exact, and the finish points. And let's remember, this is a points competition, an individual points competition. So, Category A, Jill Pruitt came out on top. 143 points for Pruitt in first place. Proust in second, 126. Otto in third, 121. So quite tight at the top and a lot to play for. In fact, 64 points separating the top 10 women in Category 1. Well, it gets a lot tighter when we look at Category B, because Solgren from ESRT, 129 points, tied in first place on points with Vassen as well. So very, very close at the top in Category B. Ernst, 116 points. 4th place, Smederoid, 114. So just 2 points separating 3rd and 4th as well. In fact, 54 points separating the top 10 gives a lot to play for tonight. Category C, it was the organising team's Ionian race team's Debbie Wimblatt who took the total points in Category C, amassing 125 points last week, 13 points clear of Ane from Hurd in second place with 112. Johansson, 95 in third, 89 points for White in fourth. Pepin, 88 points for her in fifth place. So getting much closer. In fact, 49 points separating the top 10 in Category C. It's a very, very competitive competition. Now, Category D. Halbus took the points in Category D, 128 points, 9 points clear of Williams, the Ionian rider who indeed took the final points on that win in the race last week. Michelle F from Evo in third on 105, 14 points back. Hannah G, she's only 1 point back off of third place, and Smith just 5 points back, so 6 points back off third. A lot to play for in Category D. In fact, it's the tightest competition that we have at the moment on points, because 43 points separate the top 10 riders in Category D. So everything is to play for tonight. Now, the maximum number of points that are on offer tonight is 210, and that's if all of our riders, if our rider won every one of the 3 races and picked up top points in all of the intermediates as well. That is the number of points on offer. The points from tonight, they will be added to the points already awarded to our riders from Challenge 1 to give us the overall individual series competition. It's going to be really interesting to see if the same riders come out on top tonight, or whether we see different riders come to the fore. Now, we saw our riders last week who have pulled some videos and some information together for our riders. In fact, there they are, the faces of our community. Now, we asked our riders, what does cycling mean to them, and what advice would they give to other women who have not raced before on Zwift? Now, we heard from 3 of our riders last week. We're going to hear from another 3 of our riders tonight. In fact, let's hear from one of those now before the racing starts. I think we can hear from Holly.
Hi, I'm Holly. I race for Team Nexpo by Ensured on Zwift. Cycling has been life-changing for me. I'm a lockdown cyclist and the addiction is real. It means I have the ability to cycle to work, which gives me the headspace to wind down and appreciate the amazing graphics in actual real-life Yorkshire. The amazing friendships I have made along the way mean so much to me. I have the opportunity to ride and race with some outstanding ladies who are so inspiring, from Cat D to elite level, and everybody matters. The encouragement from Zwifters is second to none. For any new ladies watching and thinking, that looks kind of cool, I want to do that, but how do I start? If you go on the ladies section of the Zwift Insider website, there's a huge list of teams that you can join on there. Just reach out and join a team, find your tribe, ask all the questions. No question is too daft. Everybody has started new and everybody will be able to help you. Make friends, and before you know it, you'll be racing too. It's really hard sometimes to get over the part where your head thinks, I don't want to let the team down, I'm going to be last, what am I doing here? All the self-doubt creeps in, but showing up is the biggest thing. And remember, every race that you do, you'll learn something. You can do this.
So tonight in race 1, we will be covering the C category and the D category. In race 2, we will be covering A and B. And in race 3, we will be bringing you highlights and footage from all 4 of our race categories. Now, that is because we have 3 mini races for you tonight. The first race, it's on TikTok in Watopia, 2.5 kilometres only, no draft. There's a lot of time trial bikes down in those pens, which is what I was expecting. There are no intermediates on this course, just 1 set of points up for grabs. Those are the finishing points, and it's all going to be about your time and how quickly you can cover that distance. Now, no draft available tonight, so it's all going to be on an individual effort. It doesn't matter whether you're at the front of the pack, at the back of the pack, there is no drafting opportunity. And you can see the push out of the start pen already. In fact, whoa, look at Andrea from Aeonian at the moment. She's gone out of the pen with one row from the Revo Squad Coalition are up there too, but take a look at the riders at the moment. One row, the American rider pushing on. So is White from Synergy. Now, we saw her last week. Nina from AEO as well in the mix, pushing hard. I tell you someone who has gone hard from the gun, and that is Small, August and Overmo as well. So a lot of riders going out hard, seeing how fast they can cover this 2.5 kilometers. Now, they come out of the start pen and they sweep their way through the TikTok course. The first section you can see on the top right-hand corner of your screen, we've got a number of sweeping bends, taking the riders into what is normally the sprint effort in towards the rock arch on the TikTok course. Now, no sprints tonight, no intermediates on this course. This is just about how fast these riders can ride 2.5 kilometers. They will go underneath the rock arch, and the finish is around 200 meters past that. There is a rock on the left-hand side which signifies the finish line, but at the moment, it's Fokdal, Nina from Aeonian, and Andrea from Aeonian as well, who is pushing on here. We've got Willis and Profumo just 2 seconds back. Petra W, the Crush Pod rider as well. Bragg from Galaxy in the mix as well. So a number of riders going out really hard in Category C on this TikTok course today. Well, Category D have gone out hard as well, and it's the level racing rider Taylor leading the pack at the moment. They're 400 meters into this 2.5 kilometer course. M from Evo, Carla from Aeonian, Powell from ESRT. These four riders now looking like they're pushing away from the pack. The coalition rider, Kangaroo, is 1 second back with Cook and Linton, the Swedish Zwifter. Paul from Aeonian is not far back either. In fact, you can see the stretch on this course. You can see the group of riders sweeping through these S-bends at the moment in this Category D race. But it's still Taylor from Level who is leading this out at the moment. So back in the C race now, 1.6 kilometers of this course completed, and it's Nina from Aeonian who is up here now, neck and neck, side by side, wheel by wheel to Fokdal, the rider here, as they come over what would be the sprint banner. But these two riders now being joined by Luckberg from ESRT as well. So three riders now right at the front of this Category C race, all pushing on and battling to be the fastest rider over this exceptionally short distance tonight. So Luckberg from ESRT is the rider pushing on at the moment. I can tell you that the fastest time in the A category tonight, 3 minutes 17 seconds from Otto. Absolutely flying. In terms of the B race, well, I'm looking at that, and that is a fast time as well. But this is the C race. They've got 200 meters to go, and it's Luckberg from ESRT who's pushing on now, come over the top of the leaders as we see a late charge from behind. You can see that rock on the left-hand side. That signifies the finish of this race, and it's going to be Luckberg from ESRT who sets the fastest time here. You can see her. She's gone over the line. The other riders are behind. Taylor, Carla from the Aeonian squad. This is the D race at the moment. These two riders, M from Evo is 1 second back. Then we've got a Crush Pod rider, 2 seconds back. But Taylor from Level Racing now coming up towards the rock arch, which will signify 200 meters left of this time trial effort for these riders in this first race tonight. So Taylor from Level still leading from Carla Williams from the Aeonian squad. Carla Williams in second place overall in that individual series competition at the moment with 119 points, but it's looking to me like it's Taylor who's going to pick up maximum points here in race 1 tonight, unless anybody from behind can have a late surge to come through. So Taylor from level really working hard here, absolutely putting the hammer down in this D category race. Carla from Aeonian, Hughes from level in 3rd position at the moment, Solit from Crush Pod in 4, M from Evo battling for that place as we see the riders come through and go over the line. That was the level racer who took that today. So Taylor, Natalie Taylor from Level Racing, from Carla Williams, from Michelle F from Evo, from Helit, from Crush Pod, rounding out the top 4. Now, in that C category race, we saw those riders come through. It was Lookbird from Fokdal, from Daniel, from August, Galaxy Racing rider coming in 4th place. Wow. What can I say other than that was fast and furious? Very quickly, it was Gilbert from Synergy in category B who took the win from Irish. Otto from Galgus in category A. Well, I can't believe that we are 7 minutes into the Iceni Race Series Challenge 2, and we have 4 races already complete. Now, race number 2, the Bell Lap. 7.9 kilometres. This is 4 laps of the Bell Lap. They will come out of the start pens and head in towards lap number 1. Now, there is an intermediate on the Bell Lap. That is indeed the sprint. Now, the sprint on the Bell Lap is a fastest through the segment sprint each lap. Top 5 will gain points. 10 points for first, 8 points for second, 5 points for third, 3 for fourth, and 1 point for fifth. Okay. The segment is live on each of the laps, so 4 opportunities to take points fastest through the segment on each lap. So there are also finishing points available as well, 50 for first place across the finish line, down to 1 point for our riders. This is going to be a bit fast and furious. Again, we are going to follow category A and category B during the Bell Lap race before we move on to all 4 categories for the cobbled climb. Okay, so the Bell Lap, we are not going to see the draft enabled for this race either. The preem, the intermediate effort, will come at the top of the climb. The riders will progress up the rolling climb and the intermediate section comes towards the top there. We'll see that on that one very, very clearly. So our category A and category B riders, along with C and D, down in the start pens at the moment. That is not a problem at all because they will be warmed up from race 1. They'll be trying to get their heart rates back down and take a deep breath, bring those heart rates down and get prepared and ready to go for race number 2. Now, we are in Women's History Month and there are a number of high-profile sports women born in the month of March. I'm sure there may be some of our racers tonight born in March, and if you are indeed, if you celebrate a birthday in March and you are racing on the Iceni Women's Race Series, do get in touch with me at Biking Emma and let me know. I'm sure we can find an opportunity to give you a shout out and maybe a birthday cheer. But you'll be joined by, or you will be joining, should I say, some phenomenally talented athletes. Simone Biles, the US gymnast, born on the 14th of March. Katie Archibald, well, what can we say about Katie Archibald, the cyclist, born on the 12th of March. And Jackie Joyner-Kersee, the heptathlete from the US, well, she was born on the 3rd of March. So March looks as though absolutely a superb month for elite athletes. While you don't need to be an elite athlete to join us on the Iceni Race Series, we have a category for everybody. And everybody is welcome to join. So Category B are up and out of the start pen and onto the course. And I'll tell you something, they are all still on those time trial bikes now. That'll be because there is no draft enabled here. So no benefit at all for being on a road bike because of that lack of draft. So technically a time trial effort as well by these women, but it is much longer. 7.9 kilometers. In fact, 4 laps of this Bell lap course in Crit City. Now it's Gilbert from Synergy who is pushing on here. Miklik and Vassen are pushing too. Now the B category riders, really interesting. Vassen currently tied in first place on 129 points. Right at the top of the series, you can see they're pushing on here. This is the intermediate section. They've come up the rolling climb. They've gone over that red line, signifying the intermediate section. Gilbert pushing on, Michalik in 2, Synergy rider in 3. It's the Aeonian rider, Laura Lawson in 4 at the moment. These riders pushing on and pushing hard as they come through. They are coming through the first of the points. That is the first point section. It'll be Gilbert who picks up top points on that intermediate section. Michalik will pick up the second set of points, and it's looking to me like those riders coming through that section will pick up those today. So just a reminder for our viewers, it's Sogren and Vassen who are tied on points following Challenge 1 last week in Category B. Ernst is in 3rd place overall, but this is a really big push because Gilbert is pushing on a huge number of points on offer tonight, and a lot of those in this middle race. So the riders making the most of this and really utilising the opportunity for points tonight in these races. So 2 riders now pushing clear in this Category B race. It's Michalik and Gilbert who are pushing on. To Neil from Rave are now 2 seconds back. So we have 2 riders up front, 2 riders chasing 2 seconds back. In fact, that is Vassen from Synergy. She is pushing on. She's part and parcel of that chase group, but she's not able to stay with the rider ahead of her. Now a little bit further back, we've got Dixon from Synergy, Cabot as well in there. Lawson is in there too, and Neeson. So riders really pushing on here, and this field being split apart at the moment in this Category B race. So the riders on this bell lap take this sweeping corner, and they are going to start heading up the climb again. So you can see on the top right hand corner of your screen the number of percentage. So currently -3, -4, -3, 1, 5, 7, 8% upwards. This is a rolling set of climbs that the riders have to face on this course. It really separates the riders, as we saw in that first lap up. This is our riders' second time up here in this B category race. Now, they take the corner at the top, as our riders have just done, and very, very shortly they come across the start of the intermediate section, the section where they are able to take additional points in this race. And what is interesting is we're starting to see riders push on here. So Gilbert from Synergy still out front, now joined by the Rave On rider. It's Tanil who comes up over the top. So Tanil comes up over the top of Gilbert. She's going to take maximum points this time. Gilbert's going to take second in that intermediate points competition. So it's also going to be Vassen who comes through, I think, for 3rd place. Dixon in 4th, Cabot in 5th. So the riders are really pushing on now. 2 laps through that intermediate sprint, 2 sets of points. That's half the points in this intermediate sprint section that these riders can pick up on the Bell Lap race today. Gilbert and Tanil are still pushing on, and interestingly, Gilbert has come past Tanil after that intermediate. Now, is this a tactic from Tanil just to sit back off the pace, take a little bit of breath, take a little bit of a breather, get the heart rate down as much as possible to try and take those maximum points off of Gilbert again? the next time through that sprint section. Now, that would be very, very smart racing if it was. But these two riders, they are now 4 seconds clear of Dixon in third place. Cabot in fourth is 5 seconds back. We're looking now at 10, 11, 12 seconds back to any much of a larger group. In fact, this group of Category B riders, and we had 70 Category B riders on the start sheets tonight, now spread well and truly right around this course. On that top right-hand corner of the screen at the moment, you can see that green line. Well, that is indicating, viewers, where the B pack are at the moment, and it is one long snaked line of green. So we can drop in to see some of our riders at the moment. Those are some of our A category riders. So Otto, who was lying in third place before we went into today's racing, up and out of the saddle and pushing hard at the moment. They too are on the bell lap on this Crit City course at the moment. All 4 of the riders from Thompson, from London, from Otto and from Munro, all strong riders who have picked up points throughout tonight as well as last week. So back in with our B category riders. 4.6 kilometres now of this 7.9 kilometre race. It's 4 laps of this course tonight, and we're starting to see now the riders come back together, and this is because we are back onto this intermediate section. This is the point section, and Tennille is doing exactly what she did last time, coming up and over the top of Gilbert to take those points yet again. Now, interesting tactics for the Ravon rider, because she is sitting back on the rest of the lap and then coming up and over to take those points. Dixon in third place, Nielsen in fourth, Cabot still sitting in fifth place, clearly ahead now of the chasing group. So it's looking like we've got 5 riders clear, and it's those 5 riders who are going through the intermediate sprint banner first each lap. However, it's not a first across the line effort. It's a fastest through the segment effort. So the question is, are the riders out the front the fastest through the segment? My money tonight is on a yes, because Jackie Gilbert is absolutely pushing on here. Gilbert absolutely motoring the Synergy rider, continuing to work on that time trial bike as she continues to roll through this course. This is lap number 3 of 4. She's going to go out and on to the next and final lap shortly. She's got Dixon from Synergy here for company at the moment as she goes underneath that lap banner. Well, she is up and out on to the next lap. You can see the banner. 1 lap to go. If I had a bell, I'd be ringing it. Ding, ding, ding. It's 1 lap to go. 1 lap to go. Gilbert from Synergy. Dixon is there as well. That is her teammate. Tennille from Ravon, who's been coming up and over on those sprint efforts tonight to take the top points, is coming up onto the 2 Synergy riders' wheels as we start to see team tactics come into play. We've got 2 team riders. I bet there is some communication going on here at the moment. It might be an individual competition, but why wouldn't you take help and support from your teammates whilst racing? Now Tennille comes up. Can she stay with these 2 riders? Can she keep them in sight? Can she do what she did last time and come up and over the top to take the top points in that intermediate section? They've gone through the start of it, but Dixon and Gilbert are pushing on here. I don't think Tennille's going to make it, but don't discount her because she's closing them down. Is she going to close them down? Is she going to take top points here, or is she going to take the points for third? Well, who knows at the moment, but she's definitely, I think, fastest through the segment here because she's caught those 2 riders. Phenomenal timing and effort from the Rave On rider to try and take the fastest through the segment each time. Doesn't matter whether you cross that line in first, second or third. It's about the time that is important. And that technique from Tennille from Rave On, coming from the back of the group to the front, well, that's how you get a fastest through the segment. So we head down now. This is going to be all about the finish. This is going to be all about the finish points here now. As our riders push on, we start to see the riders moving into thinking about what they are going to do now as to who's going to take top points. 50 points available for first place across the line tonight here. Well, we've got 3 riders eyeing up those 50 points. Who is going to take them? So Tennille from Ravon, Dixon from Synergy, Gilbert from Synergy as well. Who is going to be the rider across the line in first place for those 50 points? 2 teammates here from Synergy pushing on at the front. Third placed rider, well, can she make it? It's Dixon pushing on at the moment. Dixon from Synergy is going to take this, I think. Tennille from Ravon, I think, is just going to miss out there on second place. I think it may well be the 2 Synergy riders coming through in first and second. But the results are going to tell me what we need to know. Oh, it's so close. That race in the B category, those riders through and across the line. Really interesting to see what happens when those results come out. Now, our Category A and Category B riders have come through the bell lap. That was race 2. That leaves us race 3, the cobbled climb. Now, Richmond, which is where the cobbled climb course is. The climb tonight, well, course tonight, 9.2 kilometres. It's not the total of the Richmond course, the Richmond UCI course. It's the back end, it's the technical bit, it's the section with 3 climbs. So our riders tonight on these cobbled climbs, the course has a flat run in at the start. It then drops down to a flat bottom run before the first climb of Libby Hill. Now, Libby Hill is a first across the line points scoring. So 640 metres in length with an average gradient of 6%. Definitely one to challenge our riders, and it does on the sharp corner that swings to the right. Kick very, very steep. That's where our first across the line top 5 will pick up points when they get to the top of Libby Hill. They will then descend off Libby Hill straight into 23rd Street, which is the second intermediate on the course. This time, though, it's fastest through the segment. Top 5 fastest through the segment will pick up points. Now, it's a short sprinter's climb, 23rd Street, 260 metres in length, an average gradient of 9.3%. And really, this is where we're going to see our sprinters come to the fore here, particularly taking fastest through the segment. It will not necessarily be our riders at the front who pick up these points. Now, they will then come off of 23rd Street and transition towards the finish. Now, it is a climb up to the finish. It's not an intermediate climb with no points at the top of the actual climb itself. It's a 1.2 kilometre climb up Grosvenor Street to the finish, where the finish points are awarded at the banner. The banner to finish this race is just over the top of that climb, and it feels when you are racing this like that banner will never come. But I guarantee you tonight it will. It will turn up for our riders, and it will award the first rider over the line 50 points tonight. Now, our Category A riders will set off in 10 minutes' time at 6:35. They will be very busy at the moment, not just recovering from race 2, spinning their legs out, dropping that heart rate. I've got a lot of money on the fact that they are also busy changing bikes, because we never had the draft on in the first 2 races, but the draft is enabled in race 3 this evening. So heading from those time trial bikes on to road bikes, and it's going to be interesting to see the choices that our riders make tonight as to whether they're going for something faster or something lighter to get up those climbs this evening. So the Richmond Cobbled Climb course is the next course that is facing our riders. And you can see there, what's really interesting here is we're seeing our riders, but not racing. We're seeing our riders between races. So great to see the action in terms of spinning those legs down, drawing that breath and getting back into the zone for this final race tonight. It's 9.2 kilometres. It's on the Richmond Cobbled Climb, and we are heading there shortly. Now, whilst we await and our riders wait down in the start pen, let's take a little listen to Natalie. Natalie is one of our riders who has sent us through a video telling us a little bit about what cycling means to her and what advice that she would give to other women who have not raced on Zwift before.
For me, cycling means different things depending on where I'm going and what I'm doing. So if I'm outside, then, you know, cycling's an amazing freedom, escape from everyday life, chance just to explore and see what's out there if I'm off-road. If I'm on Zwift, then, you know, cycling's can be more of a workout or fitness or a chance to get my competitive edge out, and a really good opportunity to spend time with my teammates and have loads of banter and camaraderie and have a laugh. If anybody wants to try Zwift for the first time and is a bit, you know, what advice I would give to them. It can be nerve-wracking the first time that you go to do a Zwift race. I would say I definitely put it off for a long time, but it doesn't get easier the longer you put it off. I would just say jump in, just try it. If you can rope a friend in to do it with you, you know, make it fun, have a laugh with it. Just get the first race out of the way so you can see what it's like. Don't even worry about whereabouts you finish, just do it. Because after that, then you can, you know, work on the more gamified aspects of Zwift and learn the courses more and all of those things. So yeah, I would just say give it a go and really have fun with it.
It's fabulous to hear from our riders, and thank you, Natalie. I think she's absolutely right. Jump on board, have fun, make it social. It is great to join us. Now, you can still join and race for the next 2 Tuesdays on the Iceni. The races are standalone. You can just head over to the events page on Zwift. You don't have to be part and parcel of the series, though obviously if you are with us all month, that is fantastic as well. So we are going to be watching our A-Cats, our B-Cats, our C-Cats and our D category races for this Cobbled Climb race. And you can see just shy of 6 minutes on the clock for our A category riders down there in the start pen. Now, let's take a little look at the bell lap, shall we? Because I do indeed have the results up in front of me. So, the bell lap race number 2. It was Alba from Synergy who took the win in category A, crossing the line first from Lowe from the Cryogen squad. Gallegos from Wahoo Lacole finished in 3rd place from Engstrom from the ESRT squad. Nevin from Coalition took 5th place over the line in the A category race. Now, in the B category race, it was indeed Svardström who took the win in the B category race. She went over the line first. From Johansson, from Dixon, from Gilbert, from Tennille. In the C category race, the results are live on Zwift Power. You can take a look on www.zwiftpower.com and you can click on the results and you can find the live results and the finished results once the racing is over tonight on that website. Now, of course, the points from tonight, because it is a points competition, will all be added together after the racing is complete. The results that are currently on there are the riders over the line in the competition as we see it live in the racing. So the points will be added together. They will all be combined to give the overall winner for tonight. And then in conjunction with a race that we saw last week, putting together for the overall series. So as the seconds tick down and the minutes still rumble before our riders head out onto the cobble climb, we can see the riders now down in those start pens. I think we should head in and take a listen to one of our other female racers and see what she has to say about what cycling means to her and what advice she would give to other women who have not raced on Zwift before. This is Megan.
For me, cycling, as it is for many people, is a means for stress relief and maintenance of my health. But why cycling versus other things? In cycling, I feel like I can express my strength and I can really push what my body is capable of in a place and space where, as a woman in her 40s with 2 kids, it doesn't happen other places in my day. Cycling is a place where I really can feel that I'm pushing myself and that I'm really gaining strength in my body. In terms of people starting out racing, any reservations you have about starting racing, very common. Not everyone has reservations, but most of us have. I would say entering your first race, way less scary than making a video about racing for your peers. Also, I would highlight in the Zwift community, there is diversity in terms of women's goals and women's abilities that allows basically anyone to find a spot where they can contribute and they can meaningfully grow physically as an athlete. And one thing I would say also is that while the women's racing community on Zwift is modest in size, what you will find is that there is a universal theme of having a strong support system both within teams and across teams that I think is very unique in terms of other activities I've tried in the past.
Well, Megan is right. There is a huge support team across women's racing on esports, and she did a fantastic job of that video, even if it is more frightening than getting on the start line and getting on the start pen and turning her legs over and racing. It was a great job. She's doing a great job racing and a great job putting that video together, telling us what cycling means to her and what advice she would give to other women who have not raced on Zwift before. Well, this group of women who we are watching at the moment down in the start pens, they've raced on Zwift before because this is the third race of the night. We are coming up to 45 seconds to go. These 4 riders are down in that start pen, just taking on board the last bit of refreshment, the last turn of the legs, because they are going to be ramping up shortly for that start. The draft is on. They've got 9.2 kilometers of racing ahead of them. And it is going to be 3 short, sharp climbs. The first 2, Libby Hill, first across the line, top 5 pickup points. The second climb, 23rd Street, fastest through the segment, top 5 pickup points. And while that finish line is just over the top of the third climb tonight on this course. Away go, Category A. They are our first category out of the start pen on to the third course of the evening. We've had 3 mini races tonight. This is the longest at 9.2 kilometres. This is the third. The legs may be tired, but the will is there. It's strong, and the riders are pushing on already. As our Category A pack comes out of the start pen and on to the course. You can see the push already coming on from Albert from Synergy Racing. Really working strong here. Absolutely on fire this evening. Low and low from Cryogen. Still covering the move. In fact, just popping her head out on to that front of the pack there. Parry in 3. Maudsley in 4. Baines in 5. All in the mix here. Prost is up there as well, lying in second position in the standings off of week 1, right up in the mix. Stevenson is there as well as Johansson. All the riders coming right to the fore here in this pack. Tight pack, starting this Category A race. Race number 3 underway for our A category riders. Pushing on as they take the left-hand bend here. All together, you can see a tight pack here. Stevenson just pushing on up the front. Determined effort there actually to go off the front of the group. The group not responding. The draft is on. They're getting an easier ride in the back there than Stevenson is out on her own on the front. So Natalie Stevenson from the Toyota Elite Cycling squad really motoring as Anne Lowe comes over up onto her wheel. She's stuck in that draft. She's not going to want to stick her neck out or stick her wheel out in front. So Stevenson on the front here in the A category race. The riders here have about 3 kilometres of this race course tonight before those climbs start. This first section fairly flat. They will then sweep round and drop down to the flat area at the bottom before those climbs start. Pretty much 3 kilometres in total. This is the B category race. They too are up and out onto the course. One big pack at the moment. Dixon from Synergy is there. Gilbert is up the front as well. Now those 2 riders we saw absolutely battling it out in race number 2. Dixon took it from teammate Gilbert, from Tennille Irish, from Rave. So all those riders right up the front here covering any moves, but there's no moves at the moment in this category B race. They are tightly packed on this course. All of them have switched to road bikes. You can see that because the draft is on as Gilbert from Synergy pushes on out the front here, and it is Louise and Vassen, Tennille and Dixon who are covering the moves. Smith is in there from Synergy. Synergy having a really strong ride in this category B group tonight. So all 4 of our race fields now out onto the course. This is the C category. And once again, a really big group of riders in the mix here. Now, we had 99 riders in category C on the start sheets today. Phenomenal number of women taking part. And we're in with the Galaxy rider right in the middle of that pack at the moment. But there are a number of riders here from the Betty Racing squad, from ESRT, from the Aeonian squad, from What for Brick. In fact, I've just seen Jarvis from the Aeonian squad in the pack here. Now, Joe Jarvis from the Aeonian squad used to live right on the Richmond course. Not on the bit we're using tonight, unfortunately, but on the fan flat section. So she used to live in the university area of Richmond. So she gets to ride past an old house that she used to live in every time she's on Zwift. Well, if you used to live, or indeed you do live, on any of the courses we are using on Zwift for the Iceni Women's Race Series, get in touch at Biking Emma. Let me know. And we are heading to Yorkshire next week. Cannot imagine we don't have any women racing next week who don't live in Yorkshire or do live in Yorkshire. So if you live in Yorkshire, get in touch with me at Biking Emma and we'll give you a shout out next week. Well, category D are now coming up for 1 kilometre of this 9.2 kilometre race. They are all in the mix here. 59 women taking to the start of this 3rd race tonight. On stage 2 of the D race. Absolutely fast and furious. The strength and depth of these category D women, amazing. Last week, at the end of last week, 43 points separated the top 10 riders, and that was the smallest number of points separation, the top 10 of any of our 4 race categories. Now, Elmore is pushing on at the moment. Hathaway covering the move. So interesting to see this. This is on the descent, and we said the first 3 kilometers of this race course are flat or on a descent. This is a descent at the moment. So Elmore pushing on, Hathaway in the mix. Brown is there too. So is Sue from WCC. Ackford is here too. So is Weber. These riders pushing on. Carla Williams from the Onion squad, she's in the mix as well. So is Timmins from Cryogen, M from Evo. These riders all pushing on here. So we are seeing the riders in this D category now. 2 kilometres now covered of this 9.2 kilometre race. 4.7 kilometres in though, RRA category, and it is about to go skywards. These riders are about to come up onto the climb. It's a little bit technical because it does climb and drop in on the way in, and it does feel like there's a long run in to Libby Hill, but once you are there, you know it. Category A riders still all together, still as one big group at the moment on this cobbled climb course. Interesting to see these riders now coming in to Libby Hill. This is the first climb. This is one of the intermediate sections. There are points at the top for first across the line. So this is important to be out front. Well, out front at the moment is Lowe from Cryogen, Alba from Synergy. Proust is up there as well. Tompkinson is absolutely pushing on. We heard from Kath Tompkinson last week. She was one of our riders who gave us a short video about what cycling meant to her. Well, what it means to her at the moment is absolutely pushing on at the front of this climb. Her climbing legs are on. Leonie May is pushing too. So is Proust. Tompkinson's in third. Nevin in fourth. Gallegos in fifth. Otto is there as well. McIntosh coming up through the pack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 riders we've got clear at the moment as they sweep through the right hand bend. I say sweep, it kicks to 13% on that corner, 15% now under the wheels. You can see the effort on Sarah Lundin's face as she's up and out of the saddle. Tompkinson working hard as well, the sheen of calm over her face as she pushes on and pushes through. The first 4 riders are through, and does Tompkinson take 5th place for the points? I think she does. Well, Gallegos, Proust, Otto, Leonie May and Tompkinson, I think are our 4 scorers on the first across the line on Libby Hill in Category A. They're going to face 23rd Street next. 23rd Street, well, that's the fastest through the segment, so they're going to need a very different tactic for that. Category B coming up the climb. They are pushing on. Vassen is now moving at the front. The Synergy rider Tina from Watford Brick there. Slavin is in the mix as well. So is Gilbert from Synergy. Ernst from Crushbod. Grant from Level is in there as well. So is Sogren from ESRT. These riders all in the mix. Cabot is trying to do some damage and close some gaps. Lawson is there from the Ionian squad, but I don't think she's going to be able to catch this group. I think the first across the line in Category B is going to come from this group. Gilbert is pushing on here. Slavin is there as well. So is Sogren. Is she going to come up and pass? She's going to get very, very close, I think, to Gilbert, but Gilbert is going to take it. So Gilbert from Sogren, from Slavin, from Ernst. Absolute push on here. 4 riders clear of the group behind. It's Nina from Watford Brick who is there as well. These are our A category riders now on 23rd Street pushing on. It's Gallegos who's pushing here. She's going to come up and through over the line first, but is she going to be the fastest rider? That is going to be the question. Or is it going to be Svardström? Is it going to be Otto, Proust, Tompkinson? Who is going to set the fastest time up 23rd Street? Now, the fastest time could well be set from one of our riders further back down the field. There's no assumption to be made that it's the riders at the front of the race field who are going to set the fastest time through the segment on 23rd Street. But in this C category race, it's definitely going to be the front riders who are first across the line on Libby Hill. And it's Profumo going for it on this right-hand bend. It's really going to kick as she goes round the corner. And Nay is pushing, but so is Lookberg coming hard and fast. So Lookberg coming hard and fast from the ESRT squad. August from Galaxy, Boxy from Galaxy are in there. Nina from the Ionian squad is up there too, but it's Profumo and Lookberg who are kicking on here. Which one of these two is going to come over the line first? Lookberg kicks. Can she make it, or does Profumo? It's Lookberg going over the line first in category C. Then we see a Nay go over August from Galaxy, and I think Boxy from Galaxy is going to take 5th place over the line. It was a close run thing with Nina from Aeonian and Layla Overmo, but it wasn't their day. A D category race now coming in towards the bottom of Libby Hill. The pack stretching a little with this early rise and this early gradient, but they've still got a long way to go. As our D category riders continue to push on the lower slopes of Libby Hill. This is our A category riders pushing up Grosvenor Street for the finish. So 8.5 kilometres now of this 9.2 kilometre race. They've got less than 700 metres to go. The gradient is kicking. It's 8% under the wheels of Gallegos at the moment. Elise Gallegos from the Wahoo Lacole squad, she is pushing up the climb. She's 3 seconds clear of Otto. Otto working hard now as she continues to try to push. Also a Wahoo Lacole rider, Tennille Otto, currently in second place. Got a teammate up ahead in first. Leonie May 4 seconds back with Cornelia Engstrom. So it's a group of riders behind, all pushing on. Kath Tompkinson is pushing there too. So is Collins. So is London. But they are not catching the rider who is clear at the moment, and that's Elise Gallegos. She took the win in race 2. Can she take the win in race 3? Can she clear up with the 50 points on offer tonight for the rider first across the line? She's got 300 metres left to go. She's 9 seconds clear. I think she's got this. Elise Gallegos can see the finish line ahead. That is the banner up ahead indicating the finish of race number 3 tonight on the Iceni Women's Race Series. We've had 3 mini races tonight. This is the final one on the cobbled climb course on Richmond. Well, they've been up Libby Hill. They've been up 23rd Street. The finish line now awaits Elise Gallegos. Tennille Otto is 8 seconds back. Cornelia Engstrom 10 seconds back with Nevin, with London, with Collins, with Gothlander and Leonie May. There's a big group charging down behind, but Elise Gallegos is going to be our winner tonight. She's going to go underneath that banner first, taking 50 points. Otto's going to come over into Collins versus Engstrom for 3rd place. It's going to be Collins versus Engstrom. These riders pushing on. Thompson in there too. So is Lowe. Leonie May as well. Dove there. Lewis, Olsen, Mailer, Bennett. These riders pushing through thick and fast now in the race today. So our Category A riders, well, they are now up and through the finish line. Category B, they are 250 metres away from that finish line now. It's Louise who's pushing on at the front. Cabot is closing down though. Cabot closing down very, very fast. Gilbert not far away. The Synergy rider who we've seen dominate Category B this evening, coming up in 3rd place at the moment. All 3 riders can see that finish line. It's 50 points on offer for the rider over the line first. Will Gilbert try and take the win here, or will one of the 2 riders ahead, Cabot or Louise, manage to take the win here? So 2 riders coming clear. Cabot now coming through and into the front of this B category race as we see the riders coming up towards the finish line, pushing on here. It's Cabot who has got the lead here. Cabot is pushing. Is Cabot going to take the win? Cabot pushing. Gilbert is coming. Can Louise stay clear? So it's going to be Cabot who comes over the line in 1. Louise in 2. We've got a race on for 4th place though. Nielsen is here. So is Grant. So is Sogram. They are pushing hard behind. Vassen coming through and over the line as well. Martin and Dixon already through. Riders pushing on really hard to pick up those points in this Category B race. They are going to continue to come through and across the line for a little while in this Category B race. Category C are going to be the next riders through. You can see Pettersson from Swedish Swifters now on the climb to the finish. She's in front, but the gap is not big. Now, Anais is in here. She is working hard and trying to close that gap down at the moment. In fact, August from the Galaxy squad is the rider closing it down. Profumo is there. Nina from Aeonian is there as well. These riders all in a group here. In fact, there's 3 seconds separating about 8 riders at the moment. They've got 300 meters to go in this C category race. Our C category race now coming to the final 200 metres. They can see the finish line in front of them. It's August from Galaxy who's got 3 seconds clear of Pettersson from Swedish Swifters. Ane is in there. Profumo, Overmo, Nina from the Aeonian squad is in there as well. These riders now need to pick up the pace because those 50 points are going to go to August from the Galaxy squad at the moment unless anybody can close her down. So Pettersson from Swedish Swifters trying to close down the Galaxy rider at the moment. August now 2 seconds clear. Can she make this? She's going to take the run into the finish. I think she's going to take this because I don't think Pettersson is going to close it down. It's looking like the Galaxy rider August is going to take the win in this race. This is race number 3 of 3 mini races today. Profumo, Overmo, Nina, Andrea, Boxy, Ludberg, Bolden, Wimblatt, all going over the line. Our C category racers coming over thick and fast on this Richmond cobbled climb course. Our last set of racers to come up towards the finish line here in category D. Today they were the last riders out of the start pen. They're going to be the last riders over the line. They still have 600 metres to go. It's 8% under their wheels at the moment. Hughes from Level Racing, Gottberg from Swedish Swifters, Halberg from Swedish Swifters as well is there. J-Law from Level, M from Evo, 12 seconds back. So it's looking like 4 riders clear here in this Category D race. Hughes from Level Racing leading this out at the moment. Sarah Hughes absolutely motoring here. She's pushed on hard. She is now 5 seconds clear of Gothenburg. So Gottberg from Swedish Swifters, the rider in 2. But Erica Gottberg, well, she is not going to catch Sarah Hughes, I don't think. Hughes now got 300 metres to go. Gottberg's going to have to do something really big here if she wants to close this down. We're looking at the final group of riders to come over the line tonight. Hughes here continuing to motor as we come to the conclusion of the Iceni Women's Race Series tonight for Challenge 2. Category D can see the finish line, and it's going to be Hughes who sees that finish line first because she's extended her lead now over Gottberg from Swedish Swifters. She's now 6 seconds clear of Gottberg, 11 seconds clear of the chase behind, and that's Law and Halbus. They are currently neck and neck in 3rd and 4th place behind. But Sarah Hughes from Level, she's got that finish line in sight. She has 100 100 metres of racing to go. And those 50 points tonight, well, they are going to be hers. So Sarah Hughes comes over the line to take the win in race number 3. Gottberg from Swedish Zwifters comes up to take second place. Halbus, a teammate, neck and neck with Law from Level. Who's going to take it? It's the Swedish Zwifter who takes that third place. M from Evo's battling behind. I think she's going to push on. So M from Evo pushing on through and up. It's going to be Carla Williams from the Ionian squad, but the M from Evo coming up and over the Crush Pod rider there to pick up extra points. Paul from the Ionian squad and Wickman from the Swedish Zwifters, they're going to come inside that top 10. The work really hard, the legs giving way, because our Category D riders have given it all, like all of our other categories tonight. All 4 of our race categories have faced 3 races this evening. 3 mini races, which I bet have not felt mini at all. There have been multiple intermediate points sections along the way. And those, well, they really take it out of your legs. Let's take a look at some of the results from this evening. So, race 1, if we remember back to race 1, we were on TikTok. It was 2.5 kilometres on a time trial bike. In Category A, Otto took the win from Gallegos from Holcroft. In Category B, it was Gilbert from Irish from Vassen. In Category C, it was Luckberg from Fokdal from Daniel. In Category D, race 1, well, the win was taken by Taylor from Williams from Hughes. Now, will we see those names repeat themselves, or will we see other riders in race 2? Category A, it was Alba from Synergy, then Anne Lowe, then Gallegos. So Gallegos picking up second and third in the first and second race in Category A. Category B, well, in race 2, the win went to Dixon from Gilbert from Irish. Now, there's some repeat there. So a lot of points picked up today by Irish and Gilbert in Category B. Category C, race 2 went to Brandy P. Then Kate, FKA. Then it was Brune in third place. Interesting. 3 different riders on the top spot in race 2 from race 1. Category D, well, it was Williams who took top spot that time in race 2 from Faulkner, from Halbus. So Williams picking up points in race 1 at the finish line and points in race 2 at the finish line. Race 3, well, we're still awaiting the results at the moment. Now, all the results you can pick up at zwiftpower.com. The live results will be up there this evening. Then, once all the racing is complete, the points all added together from the intermediates and the finish line to give you the overall points, which will create the series as well. That will all be available to you on Zwift Power. Well, available to us at the moment is race 3's results. This was the cobbled climb on the Richmond course, 9.2 kilometres, 3 climbs. Category A, it was Elise Galeos who took the win. She's had great racing tonight across all 3 races. So has Tennille Otto, who came through in second place. Collins rounding out the top 3 in Category A in race 3. Category B, it was Cabot from Marielle from Gilbert. In fact, that is Jackie Gilbert's evening, I think, in Category B. Fantastic racing there. Category C, it was August who took the win from Pettersson, from Profumo. So great racing again, and a real mix strength and depth across category C. Taking a look there, I'm not sure I see any duplicates of names in those top 3 positions across those 3 races. Well, category D, it's a different story because Hughes took the win in category 3 after taking 3rd place in category 1. Gottberg comes through in 2nd, and Halbus rounding out the evening with her 2nd, 3rd place finish. Now, what an evening. What a set of races. What a phenomenal set of results, and I can't wait to see what that does to the overall race series standings. But we are going to have to wait until all that is put together and take a look at Zwift Power, or follow the Warrior Games on social media, because they will be putting the results out and the series standings a little later in the week. Now, tonight was Challenge 2. Next week it's Challenge 3, and we head to Yorkshire. It's all about your legs, and you need to bring your climbing legs with you next week, because that is where we're going. And I tell you something, Yorkshire does not disappoint in real life for climbing, and it sure doesn't disappoint on Zwift for climbing either. 491 metres of climbing next week. We'll talk a little bit more in depth about the course next week, but that is Challenge 3, the Royal Pump Room 8. Then we've got Challenge 4, which is going to see us head to France for Casse-Pats. But that is what is going to round us out for the Iceni race series later this month. Now, the 3 mini races tonight did not disappoint at all, and the racing across all of the categories was superb. Don't forget, tonight's points will all be added together from last week to give the Midway League results. Yes, we are officially midway through the Iceni Women's Race Series. So you need to head over to Zwift Power to see the standings later, or as I mentioned, follow at the Warrior Games on social media. You can find me on social media at Biking Emma. Don't forget to give ZMS Studios a follow as well for all the links to the shows and the highlight clips, which I can tell you will be out and about this week. If you live in Yorkshire or France and are racing the Warrior Games' Iceni Women's Race Series over the next 2 weeks, do get in touch with us. Let us know where you are, because we're heading to Yorkshire, we're heading to France. Those shout outs are there. So next week we climb in Yorkshire. I can't wait to see that at all. All that leaves me to do is say thank you to our riders for joining us tonight. Thank you to our riders who are on the start line in the Americas. They've got 5 hours until those pens become live and they take to the races. If our riders tonight are anything to go by, it's going to be fast, it's going to be frantic, and it's going to be a lot of points on offer to win. So thank you to those riders. Thank you to you, our viewers. Give us a like, give us a follow. We have 2 more Tuesdays of the Iceni Women's Race Series for you. Also want to say thank you to the Warrior Games and the Ionian race team for putting on the Iceni Race Series. Thank you to Stolen Goat, to ZMS Studios for the production, Full Speed Events for supporting as well, and bringing you the Iceni Race Series all together as one big team. I, for one, cannot wait until next week. So until then, stay safe, enjoy your cycling, get on Zwift. We'll see you again soon. Goodbye.